Coping with the loss of a dear friend or family member is one of the hardest challenges that many of us face. Losing a loved one can be a highly charged and very traumatic time, especially when a person loses their life at a young age before they had a real chance to live their lives. However, when a parent loses their kid, nothing can measure the sadness they feel. A parent's biggest nightmare has to be seeing their child sick. Parents who have to live with a child battling an illness they know is terminal is something that most of us cannot begin to comprehend. The loss, pain, and sadness are more than most can handle. It is truly something that no amount of time could ever heal. Which brings us to today's story that features a young boy named Nolan Scully and his mother. Ruth Scully experienced that nightmare when her precious 4-year-old got sick. Everyone thought it was just a harmless cold, but as the days went by, the situation became more worrying. Eventually, parents Ruth and Jonathan Scully received the worst news imaginable, that their little son Nolan was suffering from rhabdomyosarcoma, a rare and aggressive form of cancer that was resistant to all forms of treatment. Ruth wanted to share the stark reality of the disease and turned to Facebook to show everyone the struggle she had to deal with, but also what a hero her little son was. However, it was her post of the last 4 days with her beloved boy that went viral. After several rounds of treatment, Nolan became weaker. Sadly, cancer had spread all over his body. When cancer spreads to that extent, it decreases the chances of survival from 40 to 20%. Even as he knew he was going to be leaving this earth, he faced it head-on and fearlessly. When Ruth brought Nolan to the hospital for the last time, she knew something was different and something else was wrong. Unfortunately, Ruth was told that large tumors were compressing Nolan's bronchial tubes and heart, just 4 weeks after he completed open chest heart surgery. The cancer had become resistant to all treatment options. The best they could do was to keep him as comfortable as possible during his final days. Nolan only had one wish before he passed on to the other side. He wanted to protect and serve his community and become a police officer. As he made in the hospital, the chief of police came to visit him and swore the young lad in as he became Sergeant Roland Nolan. The fire department also made him an honorary fire as he laid on his deathbed. He even planned his funeral, and when asked whether he wanted people to be happy or sad, he agreed with the first option. Ruth said they spent his last day watching Peppy Pig on YouTube, having Nerf gun wars, and smiling as many times as they could. After that, Ruth wanted to go and take a shower, and although Nolan never wanted to be separated from her, he told his mom that she could have Uncle Chris come sit with him, and he would just turn the other way so he could see her. Sadly, the doctor said that the moment the bathroom door clicked, he shut his eyes and went into a deep sleep. Beginning the end of life passing, when Ruth came out, Nolan had slipped into a coma and a team of medical staff was around him. She ran to her son, but then something magical happened. Despite suffering a collapsed lung, Nolan managed to open his eyes just for a second, enough to say, "I love you, Mommy." He died shortly after as his mother sang "You Are My Sunshine" to him. Nolan's fighting spirit and attitude in the face of the worst possible adversity struck a nerve with so many people as his story went viral and his Facebook page gained over 300,000 followers.